Good morning. My name is Gary Mitchener, and I'm the pastor of St. Patrick Episcopal Church in Brunswick, Ohio. If you were able to hear Leslie read this morning's gospel, you would have heard this in the text for my sermon this morning, where Jesus says, quote, "For John the Baptizer came to you in the way of righteousness, but you did not believe him. However, the tax collectors and prostitutes did believe him." So what struck me most about what Jesus said was that it was not the respectable folks who understood it, but rather it was the tax collectors and the prostitutes. So as I was wrestling with this text, I happened to remember that several years earlier I came across the name of a young Lutheran pastor named Nadia Bolz-Weber, who started her own church, which she named, now get this, she named a house for all sinners and saints. Incidentally, I had this goofy idea that whenever we get past this pandemic, we could change the name of our church from St. Patrick Episcopal Church to a house for all sinners and saints Episcopal Church. Whatever. Anyway, I actually Googled Nadia's name to get more information about her, and the first thing I discovered about her was that she had grown up in a Christian fundamentalist family, but that when she was in her late teens, she started doing some really weird things, like getting lots of body tattoos and becoming an alcoholic, as well as a drug abuser, things which really disturbed her fundamentalist parents, which probably was her purpose. She even described herself at the time as being one of society's outsiders. Sometime later, Nadia had an experience that really changed her life. A close friend of hers committed suicide, and the friend's family asked Nadia to give the eulogy at the funeral. And it was that experience which led her to consider becoming, of all things, a pastor. When I heard that story, I remembered an old proverb that goes something like this: God writes straight with crooked lines. God writes straight with crooked lines. I don't know about you, but that really resonates with me. I'd now like to share a conversation I had with my partner, Bill Jones, about ways which you and I might express our faith, not just with words, but with actions, practical actions. Let me just list a few of them. Our next door neighbor is a volunteer in the Cleveland Museum of Art Library. This is a good idea. We have another friend in Oberlin who for many years taught mathematics in public school as a career, and in his retirement he's working with young people in a program called Math Forum, challenging them in advanced studies sorely needed in our advanced technological world. One of Bill's daughters-in-law volunteers at a shelter for abandoned dogs. Isn't that a great idea? And Bill himself noted that before his illness curbed his own abilities, he was a guide at the Cleveland Clinic. He was an aide in the library at the Cleveland Public High School of the Arts. And to toot our own horns, we both were volunteers with the Hospice of the Western Reserve for years. And that was really a rewarding experience. In closing, I'd just like to say that the reality today in our sadly divided nation is that we need more of the spirit of voluntarism, of going beyond words to action, to practical action. maybe by working together with others who may even have different political views and listening to them instead of talking. Maybe changing our church name from St. Patrick to a house for all sinners and saints isn't such a goofy idea after all. Do you think?